Chess is a hard game. It really is. In all honesty, it truly genuinely is. Harder than you will see if you watch the big name chess YouTubers, grandmasters, or streamers of the like. And today, I want to give you something of a glimpse into just how hard that really is. You see, just the other day, I sat down to solve a main 2 puzzle. I felt like I would hopefully be able to solve it. I knew it would be hard, but I did not understand or anticipate in the moment just how genuinely challenging it would actually be. And I share this with you to show that this is not easy. Trying to learn and improve and develop at anything with any real level of difficulty is going to require something of us. It is going to make us want to rip our hair out. It will, in cases such as my own, make us decide that we want to swear off chess only to change our minds again 5 seconds later. But I want you guys to see just a little bit of what the raw, brutal process of trying to solve a difficult and complex problem looks like. And hopefully, it can help to encourage and inspire you in your own struggles in improving in chess or whatever challenge it may be you're trying to overcome. So, with that being said, enjoy your journey as you watch my gradual descent into the gaping jaws of hell. Greetings, friends. In today's video, we are going to be going on a scenic road trip through hell. Solving a main 2 puzzle. I'm sorry. Don't know what came over me there, just kind of spoke words. So, this is going to be a main 2 puzzle we're going to be solving today. I have made a video doing one of these before, and I've decided that I think I want to make it an ongoing series. There are a lot of very valuable insights and lessons I think which can be gained from solving puzzles such as this. So I just barely came across this puzzle. I have not yet tried to solve them. I've come up with a couple of thoughts already, but yeah, in this video, I am going to be just kind of walking you through and showing you the process of how to solve one of these. So I said so in my last video of this, and I'll say it again here. These are deceptively simple sometimes. This one I saw it, and I thought it seemed like a what should be a pretty simple and straightforward position. You know, you should usually see something like this and be able to solve it very quickly, right? But I have done a number of these puzzles before, and I know that the simple ones like this that don't seem to have a lot going on the board, we should be able to make easily, are actually sometimes some of the hardest. So, with that said, we'll go ahead and get into this. If you want to, you can try pausing the video and see if you can try to crack and solve it on your own. So in these puzzles, the first move is never a check. And the reason it is not a check is because we want to leave black with as many options as possible. And by the way, yes, it is us to play as white here. So we're gonna play a move, and then black can do whatever he wants, and then the idea is that mate is guaranteed to happen on the following move. We're gonna go ahead and go through the checks anyways, not necessarily because they are correct, but because they offer some perhaps perspective and insight onto the nature of these positions and kind of what is really going on. So the first one I'm gonna look at, it's a pretty obvious one to see why it's wrong, is Queen E8 check. In which case, the knight on f6 goes and captures the queen, and then we have nothing. We maybe have like knight g7, but then the king just, goes here onto h6 or to g5. So that doesn't do us any good. If we did knight f6 here, the knight would retake. So yeah, that's not good. Now that is the only move we can make with the queen which means then we are left with trying to see any checks we potentially have with the knight. So one idea we have here is that we can try taking the knight on e4 and going and capturing the knight on f6. So this takes the knight and puts the king into check at the same time. So in this case, then Black's reply, well, his only reply actually, the only legal move is King G5. He can't move to H6 because it would be in check by this knight, and it can't move on a G6 because then the pawn is threatening the king. So yeah, that is its only move. And then let's say here that we have like Queen G8, in which case we could take either the knight on F6 or we can take the knight on G5. So remember, in these puzzles, if Black gets a second move, you have gone too far. Whatever you have found is not the correct solution. It needs to be made no matter what on the second move. So on. So and I was thinking this is another line I was looking at there. I don't think so. So yeah, that's out then. We also have perhaps knight G7 check. And let's see. So king H6, and let me see is queen F6. Oh no, that's not mate. That's not mate. Ah, yes. Okay, king H7. I was confused. I was thinking that was checkmate, but yeah, not quite. And then let's just have some curiosity here though. Let's say that he had gone um knight G7 in the past. What would have happened if we had gone um king G6? Would that have been mate? I think that might have been made if we had done that. Oh no, still a check. Still a check. Sorry, takes H7. Okay, so I am. This is not my day so far today, guys. Okay, so I'm getting a few things here. Okay, so um, when we gonna just look at this at first, one of the problems that I'm seeing that we'll have to overcome is that the Black's king is potentially I'm going to try going like G6, right? Or to H6 if the knight moves. And then is going to try to go and take this pawn. In which case the king there on H7 is, too far removed, right? Like there's I think that could be done about from there. So I think whatever so why I say is that whatever it is that we end up doing, we are going to have to make sure that we have this escape square on H7 covered. Yeah, we're just I'm gonna keep that in mind. Now remember, the pawn isn't able to take if the king was there on G6 because the pawns can move backward, right? The pawn's only move here is to be able to promote. Although actually, why don't I look at that? Let's again looking at checks, let's sort of see what happens if we just promote right here. So let's see, Queen H8. Um Perhaps there's a couple moves here. There's King G6. And now let me see. How about Queen H6? Is that mate? Yeah, Queen H6 there is mate. If he goes G6. But I think in that case, the better move then for black is to go King G4. And here there's like no real way to have everything covered. Right? So for example, if knight E3 here, then king goes E4 and escapes from sorry, king goes F4 and then escapes from the check. So yes, that is no bueno, my dudes. So Yeah, let's see, are there any other ideas if you just go ahead and promote the queen? Though you also have like knight h6 as well, in which case you can either go back to h5, or you can actually, you have no ways, you can go to f4, you can go to f3, and actually that is it. Yeah, but either way, you still have a couple of moves there. So let's see. There was. Again, I just want to look at this one more time to see if I missed anything. So, King G4. Are there any other potential mating ideas that we can try go for here? Um, yeah, there's. I guess there's like Queen G7, but in that case, you just go King H3 or King F3. In which case, Black has once again managed to escape from the mate. Okay, so good. Glad that we got that established. Okay, so promoting the pawn to a queen here is out. Alright, guys, so the easy part is over, right? We've tried all the checks and found that they fail. So, what are we to do now? So, I'm just trying to look here and see I guess, or what kind of, ideas there are, right? So remember, we're gonna have to really keep an eye on this h7 pawn here. So I'm wondering if maybe we want to try a queen move here to be able to potentially cover it. So um again, we can't do queen g8 because knight takes, and then the queen's just out of the game. And then there's no mate there. I was trying to see maybe there's some hint to move to Nightmare Song, but no, there's not. You can't cover all the squares there. So let's just go ahead and look at a couple here then. So we have Queen E7. I'm just gonna look at one idea. So what does Black do here? Um, just to throw something down. Let's say Pawn H3 here. Is there any idea from checks we could do with either with the queen or with the knights? Can't go Knight G4 because escapes or escapes to G5, so that's out. Also, you'll notice that this is a pretty slow and brutal process, right? There is no easy or quick way for us to solve and work out a position like this. And I want you guys to understand that as you try to improve at chess, or you try to study, or you try to calculate difficult positions, this is the thing that you're going to continue to run into, is that you're trying to find the right ideas and you're just not getting there easily. And I think that these kinds of puzzles are really good for all of us because they allow us to deal with just frustration, right? And what do we do when these kinds of, I guess, difficult positions come, right? So anyway, so after going back to the position, after pawn h3, you have queen f7, but then king goes to g4. It can't go to h4 because it's guarded by the knight, so g4 is its only option. And again, we have gone too far once again, so that is out. Are there any other just even checks here that we can consider? We can't go knight g6, sorry, knight g7 here because that leaves king h6. Okay, so I think that actually leads me to another problem, which we are going to have when we look at this particular pawn, which is if the knight moves, if this knight on f5 leaves its square, then we are just in a position where we can't really, I guess, do anything about it, right? So yeah, so this I'm not saying there's probably the move. I wonder about a pawn move. And I guess my thinking here is that it is hold on. Oh wait. Why am I looking at Wise Pawn? Sorry. Wait, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Sorry, brain fart, forget about it. Um I was thinking for some reason that the pawn was coming this way, even though it obviously wasn't. Um so let me see. I mean, we can look at the other queen move here, queen e7 as well, but that just kind of runs into the same problems. Um, and that yeah, we don't know like what to do or how to handle it, right? Cause say like you know king g4, right, and then like queen d7, and then takes or moves out of the way or whatever. Okay, now another idea we can I guess try to potentially go for here is like queen takes f6, right? And the idea here is pretty simple. If you can just all of a sudden get the queen here to g5, then that's checkmate. However, if we go queen f6, black goes king g4, and then we try to go queen g5, and then the king gets to f3, and yeah, well, we are unable to do anything there. So, and then you could also try queen h4, but that just runs into the same problem, right? King f3 again. So, taking the knight with the queen is out then. So what do we do now? I'm wondering if maybe the idea is that we want to bring the queen back. So so you see that's hard too, right? And the reason that this is hard, actually, so there's a couple things here that we need to consider, right? So one is that if we try to go say like queen oh wow, I've actually got a couple pawns here. So if we try to go like queen b3, I haven't been covering this as much, I guess, either. That in all of these different positions, knight takes e4 is also an option. The knight is generally hanging if the queen leaves e6. Crap, guys. Yeah. If the queen, well, going back in, if the queen leaves past d5 or c4 and tries to go like b3 or a2, right? Then the knight just goes ahead and takes e4. And so, guys, this is a doozy. I am not even gonna lie. This is alright, but I mean, let's go ahead and try it anyways. All right. So say we go like queen b3, knight takes e4, then queen f3 check, and then yeah, the king just escapes to g5 here. That would almost be mate, right? That is almost a mate. But the other problem, though, even if he doesn't take, let's say he goes like h3 instead, right? We go queen f3, and then the knight goes to g4 and blocks the check. So, okay, so I'm trying to figure out, okay, so is any queen move on the board here? Like anything at all? Because, yeah, we looked, f8 is out, e7 is out, e8 is certainly out, g8 is out, d7 is out, Although d6 is in. Let's see. I wonder if there's any possibility somewhere of if we move the king along one of these along the 6th rank. So, oh, hold on. So I was thinking they're like queen d6 maybe. And then like maybe knight takes e4. Queen d1, nope. King escapes to g5. Well, there was no idea though. So what if we go queen e5? And the idea then is that we're going to bring the f knight away with a discovered check and hopefully mate. Oh, sorry, that doesn't work here. We can't move the knight away because h6 is no longer covered. Ah! Oh, hold on, is there perhaps some other way still? Alright, so the problem here then that I am seeing right now, guys, is that the moment either one of these knights leaves, we leave escape squares open for the king to get out and try and make a getaway, right? If the f knight moves, then h6 is an option. If the e knight moves, then g5 is an option. And in all these cases, though, g4 is an option, and then f3 is an option as well. Okay, so to recap, just what we have so far. So we are looking for some magical move here, right? We are looking for a move which, if we play it, means that black is guaranteed to get checkmated. And so whatever this one move is, it needs to take a couple of different things into consideration. So it needs to consider that the king can go to g6 and then take on h7. Neither of which squares are covered or protected right now. It also needs to be prepared for a black plays g4, then try and escape to f3 or h3 or perhaps even f4. It also needs to consider and be aware of the fact that this knight on e4 is potentially going to be taken, and our first move is not to just go ahead and take the knight first. So, whatever it is that we do, right, whatever ideas and all we try to go for, knight takes e4 is an option, in which case we are left checkmating with just the f5 knight and the queen. The pawn, of course, is useless, right? It's going to do nothing. I mean, it can potentially put, well, no, sorry, I misspoke. So the pawn can help. Although, I think the one thing is that if on the next move after this one, we promote the pawn, then, hold on. I was gonna say if we promote the pawn, the knight can go jump back, but that means a third move. So it'd be whatever this move is, and then promotion, and then the knight coming back, and then whatever we do. So that's a 3-move combination. Again, we're trying to do 2 moves. So anyways, my point though is unless the second move, and it may in some lines, it may be that we just go ahead and promote the pawn, and then we have mate. Hold on. Let me see. So let's say, I'm trying to look at this. So like if knight goes e4, and then we just promote, then the king still has the g4 square, or even the g5 square. Wow. Okay, guys, we are screwed here. Yeah, we are very deeply, firmly, and definitively screwed. So, what is the move we are going to play which solves all of these different problems? See, this is what I'm really worried about here, right? I am worried about knight takes e4. That is by far the scariest possibility. Um, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm wondering. Hold on, hold on, guys. Hold on. Could that work? Knight g3. Wait, nope. Knight g3 is a check. We know, of course, he could just take. Yeah, in that case, we promote to h8, and then the knight blocks. Then it's made after that, I think, right? Yeah, I'll move 3 there. I'll move 3. That's checkmate, but we do not have the 2-move checkmate, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so what I'm thinking here, though, is that I think that I want to get the knight out of the way so that the g4 square is potentially open. So how about knight e3 then? Let's look at knight e3. So here, if knight takes, we have queen g4, but then king goes h6. Guys, I was really thinking maybe I had something there, you know? Well, let's see. I want to make sure I didn't mistake this. So if knight e3, again, sometimes you'll, like do the right move and then later on realize that, there was some key response you missed. So again, knight e4 is the most logical response. And then is there some, perhaps, hidden maiden here? Not queen g4. If queen h7, then king h6. And then queen f5 almost works, but again, king h6. Okay. Alright, so that's out. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to be getting so frustrated and all. Wait. What if we do a king move? We have not looked at any king moves yet. Just kind of something to, bide the time and I guess force a move. I mean, that doesn't really do it there because, yeah, in this case, we go. Yeah, he just goes pawn h3. Or something like that. And then, yeah, I mean, there's still nothing, right? Like queen f7, then, like, king goes g4 and all. I really wish it were perhaps some king move. I think that would be really interesting, really fascinating and insightful. But alas, it was not meant to be, my friends. So, let's see. What else have we not looked at then? Another thing here is that another move that black has, if he wants to, is just push pawn h3, and then we. Yeah, I mean, we could do whatever, but then, like if the knight moves right, then there's a pretty solid escape square on h4. We can't cover. Okay, so actually, now that I think of it, then I think, in most lines, I feel like if black goes h3, then we don't have a way to support the h4 square if the knight like moves away somewhere. Hold on, let me see. I wonder if we. I guess I'm gonna give myself maybe 3 more minutes, and if I can't get it, then I'm gonna go ahead and consult the engine on this one. Which I don't like to do though, right? Like I like to try to continue going until I get the solution, but here guys, I am not seeing it, right? Like I am not at all I'm seeing it. Let's look at maybe we looked at Queen B3. I wonder if maybe there's something specific to Queen A2. And again, I know like once I look, right, once I see what the correct move is, I'm going to just be like, oh yeah, of course. Like why couldn't I see that? Um so anyways, yeah, is there anything potentially going there for us if we do that instead? Because we have maybe Queen E2 as an option. Yeah, I don't know. Guys, I do not know anymore. I just don't. Um do I want to go ahead and just do it? I hate this, guys. I hate having to turn to the engine, but yes, this does in fact have me genuinely stumped, and I need to know. Now remember, guys, even though I have gotten to a point where I don't think I'm able to just go ahead and find a solution now. I am still grateful to have at least gone this far. And remember, sometimes you do these problems and these positions, and even if you don't get it, right? Even if you're not able to figure out what exactly the correct move is, it is still a good exercise because it helps you to refine your skills in calculation. And it teaches you the value of patience and endurance. Oh, and I just realized the other problem is that the knight could also. I mentioned the knight could take on e4. The knight could also take on h7. So, anyways, so yeah, just go with that again. So, whatever move the engine is about to tell me needs to be mindful of a potential capture on h7. It needs to be mindful of a knight capture on e4. It needs to block out a king's potential escape to h4 if the pawn advances, and also to g4 and g5 in the event that the e4 knight moves. And guys, whatever it is, I know this is going to be a doozy. So you ready? You ready? Okay, let's see what it is, my friends. What is the move? Hold on. So it just said it's 97. Okay, so 97 apparently is the move. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. So if pawn h3, then what do we have? See, sometimes I'm just, finding the move, right? Is the we can't go h8 because knight blocks. Guys, this just does not get any easier, does it, right? Am I sure that was h7? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was 97. Yeah, so yeah, that the engine says that is the correct move. So if h3, what do we do then? Not knight g3 because knight h6. Guys, apparently there is still a mate in one here somewhere with this. Not queen f5, because again, king g6. Ugh. not queen f7, because king h6. Guys, where is the mate here? If this is a true main turret, then there is a mate. There is a mate here on the board in the flesh right now. Oh, there it is. Queen takes h3. Queen takes h3 is the mate there. Okay. Now, let's say that... Okay, let's say knight takes... guys, this is it. This is it. If knight takes e4, queen g6 is mate. Wow. Guys, just... Wow. I mean, really, like... Truly. Oh, man. Why doozy? Okay, so let's see. So, yeah, knight. What else was there? King g6 is out because it's guarded now by the knight. So yeah, is king h6 really our only other move then? So in this case, we just go... Where do we go? Not f6, because king h5. Hold on. So, hold on, let me see. So yeah, look at the knight. Okay, and then, sorry, let's focus for a second. Then knight h7, and then, yeah, queen g6 is mate. Hold on, am I missing any other moves? Are there any other moves here? Which black has? I am genuinely not sure that there are. Oh, well. Now we can move the knight out of the way in a couple of other ways. But yeah, they all run into the same problem of queen g6 checkmate. Guys, that was brutal. Not gonna lie, that was brutal, but oh, that is brilliant. Even though that was so hard, guys, can we appreciate just how beautiful and subtle this thing was? And you'll notice, for whatever reason, I did not actually consider knight e7 as a move. Why didn't I look at knight e7? And the answer is I think it was because I wasn't seeing any real way that, like, oh, I guess I just wasn't seeing, like, where exactly the mate would follow from there, right? So I guess that, like, the knight itself is not actually going to deliver mate in any situation, right? But it does help, though, to, like, reinforce the g6 square. It also blocks this diagonal for the queen, so it can, go and target h3, potentially, right? Alright, well, this was fun. I hated it, and it sucked. And I'm going to spend the rest of the day now wondering if I ever want to touch or get close to a chessboard ever again until the day that I die. But the challenge, right? The challenge itself was fun. And I just want to say again, win or lose, solve the position or lose, find the right move or not, this is good experience. And no matter else what happens there, that experience, the opportunity to be able to go through, try to calculate, find ideas, see why they work, why they don't, is worthwhile. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want to see content like this again. And keep playing chess, my friends.